My wife smirked and said, "You can't even afford a lawyer. Just sign the divorce papers." I stayed quiet, but when she walked into court, my sister in a $4,000 suit said, "Actually, I'll be handling this now. My name is Nathan Reed. I'm 34, and I've lived in Portland for most of my adult life. I was married to Danielle for almost 10 years. We didn't have any kids. Just the two of us in a quiet little townhouse with a red door and some hydrangeas that bloomed every spring. It wasn't a perfect life, but I thought it was stable, comfortable, safe. 3 months ago, on a normal Sunday morning, Danielle made eggs like she usually did. We didn't talk much during breakfast, but that wasn't unusual lately. Things had been quiet between us for a while. I thought maybe we were just going through a rough patch. I had no idea what was coming next. After breakfast, while we were drinking coffee, Danielle looked at me calmly and said, "We need to talk." At first, I thought she was going to mention our recent communication problems, or maybe suggest we try couples counseling. But then she said it, straight, cold, and without any emotion. "I want a divorce." I just blinked at her. "Are you serious?" I asked, still trying to understand what was happening. She nodded and reached into a drawer next to her. She pulled out a large envelope and slid it across the table toward me. "These are my proposed terms," she said. "I've already hired a lawyer." I didn't even open the envelope at first. She kept talking. Said she wanted the house, wanted 80% of our savings. She'd calculated her lost income from turning down a job in San Diego the year before, and she said her request was fair compensation. I opened my mouth to say something, but then closed it again. She spoke so clearly, so confidently. It didn't feel like a conversation. It felt like a business deal she'd already closed. Then she hit me with the final blow. "And Nathan," she said, pausing for a moment, "let's be honest. You can't afford to fight this. I know exactly what you make. I know what's in your bank accounts. My lawyer charges $600 an hour. If you try to drag this out, you'll lose everything. Just sign the papers and walk away." She said it like she was doing me a favor, like I should be thanking her. There wasn't even a hint of guilt in her voice, not even a second of doubt, just cold confidence. She thought she had me completely beat. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just looked at her, really looked at her, and I realized something. It wasn't just my heart breaking. It was like I was watching a mask come off her face. Like I was finally seeing who she really was, and it wasn't the woman I thought I'd married. She got up, left the envelope on the table, and walked away. "I'll give you a few days," she said before leaving. That afternoon, I sat on our porch for hours. I couldn't think straight. My mind was just empty. I wanted to scream, but nothing came out. I'd never seen this ruthless side of her before. She was treating me like a business deal, like I was just another asset to liquidate. And the worst part? She was right. I didn't have the money for a lawyer. She knew that. She was counting on it. But there was one thing she didn't know. She thought I was alone. She thought I had no one left. She thought I'd burned every bridge. But she didn't know about Rachel, my older sister. Rachel and I hadn't spoken in 6 years. After our father passed away, things got ugly between us. There were harsh words, accusations, and then just silence. I thought that relationship was over. But as I sat there, looking at that envelope, thinking about how Danielle was trying not just to leave me, but destroy me, I thought of Rachel. And I remembered something else. Danielle didn't even know who she was. Danielle was right. On my own, I couldn't afford a fight. But I might not be on my own. That night, I didn't sleep. I tried watching TV, reading, anything to distract myself. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw Danielle's face. Calm, confident, convinced she'd already won. I still hadn't touched the envelope. It sat there on the table like a loaded gun, waiting. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through old numbers until I found Rachel's. I hadn't touched that contact in over 5 years. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I sent just 6 words. "I need help. Please call me." Nothing happened that day. No reply. No read receipt. I figured maybe she'd blocked me or deleted my number. I couldn't blame her if she had. But the next morning, while I was making coffee, my phone rang. It was Rachel. I picked up. She didn't even say hello. She just said, "I heard what happened." My heart dropped. "You talked to someone?" "No," she said. "Danielle posted a picture last month with some guy named Gavin." I put the pieces together. I figured something was coming. I didn't even know about that picture. I was speechless. "I'll take the case," Rachel said. Just like that. I blinked. "What?" "No one treats my brother like that. Not while I'm breathing." I let out a breath I didn't even know I was holding. "Rachel, you don't owe me anything. We haven't talked in years." "We'll deal with that later," she said. "Right now, send me everything. Bank statements, emails, documents. Anything you've got." It felt strange. After all that time apart, after everything we'd said to each other, Rachel just slipped back into that role. Protective. Strong. Not because she had to. Maybe because she needed it too. 2 weeks later, it was court day. I arrived early. Danielle was already there, sitting on the other side of the room, looking polished and confident. She was holding an iced coffee, scrolling on her phone. When she saw me, she gave me this look, like she felt sorry for me, or maybe like she thought I'd already lost. Her lawyer came over with papers in hand. "Mr. Reed," he said politely, "we assume you've had time to consider the agreement. Our side is still open to settlement." I looked him in the eye. "I'm waiting for my attorney." He smiled coldly. "Of course you are." And right then, the courtroom doors opened. Everyone turned. Even Danielle. Rachel walked in, wearing a sharp navy blue suit. Her hair was pulled back. Her face showed nothing. No smile. No emotion. She walked straight over to me, set her case file down and said, "Let's begin." The room changed. Her presence shifted the energy. Danielle's lawyer's face tensed. Danielle looked from me to Rachel, clearly confused, trying to figure out what was happening. Rachel introduced herself to the judge. "My name is Rachel Reed. I'm representing the defendant." Danielle didn't say anything, but I could see it in her face. The exact moment she realized this wasn't going to be the easy win she'd expected. We rejected the settlement offer completely. Rachel requested a full forensic audit of all our shared finances for the last 3 years. Danielle's face went pale. She didn't speak, but she looked like she wanted to. Rachel dug deep. She got bank statements, work expense logs, travel receipts, everything. And what she found was damning. Danielle had been using our joint money for all kinds of things that had nothing to do with our marriage. Gifts, flights, hotel rooms. All for Gavin, the guy she said was just a junior associate she was mentoring. Rachel cross-referenced Danielle's claimed business trips with Gavin's public Instagram posts. There was one photo him sitting poolside at a luxury resort. The same weekend Danielle had told me she was at a work training in Denver. Rachel printed that photo in full color and handed it to the judge. "We believe this speaks for itself," she said. Danielle didn't move. Her lawyer whispered something to her, but she didn't respond. Rachel filed for dismissal of Danielle's claim for spousal support. She also requested that I keep the house since I'd paid for it using my inheritance. The judge agreed. Danielle was ordered to leave the house within 30 days. Rachel also filed a motion demanding Danielle pay back over $40,000 in misused funds. Her lawyer tried to argue it down. Rachel didn't budge. "She wanted the upper hand," Rachel said as we walked out. "Now she can carry the weight." By the end of the case, Danielle had lost almost everything she asked for. She left with only a small fraction of what she thought she'd get, and a huge legal bill she didn't see coming. Eventually, word got around at her office. The affair. The misuse of company funds. Her reputation took a big hit. Last I heard, Gavin stopped responding to her messages. Their little affair didn't survive the fallout. As for me, I sold my old Mustang and used the money for a down payment on a quiet little place with a small yard. Peaceful. Simple. Rachel and I talk again. We even went out for drinks recently. No legal talk. Just siblings. We don't pretend the past didn't happen. But we've decided it doesn't have to define us either. Danielle thought she could destroy me. Thought I'd just give up and hand her my life. But she forgot something important. You don't have to yell to fight. Sometimes, all it takes is asking the right person to stand beside you. If you stayed with me until the end, thank you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more real-life stories just like this.